Ex-FBI lawyer exposes something huge about Steele Dossier that could change everything. Former FBI top lawyer confesses. Was concerned Comey blackmailing Trump or appeared to be? By HJIC at Illicit Info. Opinion during an interview with Fox News, Bill hammered this past week, Attorney General William Barr said, I've been trying to get answers to the questions, and I've found that a lot of the answers have been inadequate, and I've also found that some of the explanations I've gotten don't hang together. In a sense, I have more questions today than I did when I first started. Little wonder as the participants in the corrupt plan to destroy President Trump's presidency are now scurrying like rats to defend their actions. Trending. Fox News host torches John Williams, leaves him speechless. One of those co-conspirators now desperately trying to explain himself is former FBI General Counsel James Baker. Baker appeared on Michael Isikoff's podcast this past Wednesday. Isikoff was either unwittingly used by the FBI or he was a knowing collaborator in bolstering the evidence presented in the fraudulent FISA applications through his reporting in Yahoo News. Isikoff had been briefed on the dossier's contents by the same source the FBI received the dossier from prior to writing about the contents. By reporting contents of the Steele dossier, an artificial construction intended to do damage to Donald Trump, as though he had originally sourced the material. The FBI was able to use it in its application to the FISC as a corroborating source. During the podcast, Baker, who was fired from his position at the FBI and is under criminal investigation for unauthorized leaks to the media, claimed that he and other officials expressed concerns during a 2017 meeting that disgraced former FBI Director James Comey appeared to be blackmailing then President-elect Trump. Baker claimed that he was not alone in expressing his concerns prior to Comey's January 6, 2017 meeting with President-elect Trump. Their worries centered around Comey telling Trump only about the most salacious aspects of the dossier. They feared this would give rise to analogies with J. Edgar Hoover, whose penchant for blackmailing his political enemies made him, according to many Washington watchers of that time, the most powerful man in America. Isikoff recounted the interview in his Yahoo News column. Senior FBI officials were concerned that Director James Comey would appear to be blackmailing then President-elect Trump, using tactics notoriously associated with J. Edgar Hoover. When he attended a fateful January 6, 2017 meeting at which he informed the real estate magnates about allegations he had consorted with prostitutes in Moscow. According to Jim Baker, the Bureau's chief counsel at that time. We were quite worried about the Hoover analogies, and we were determined not to have such a disaster happen on our watch, said Jim Baker. Then the FBI's top lawyer in an interview with the Yahoo News podcast skullduggery, but he and Comey determined that Bureau had an obligation to tell Trump of the uncorroborated allegations because the press has it's about to come out. You should be alerted to that fact. The press would have written anything it wanted and the FBI would have denied its veracity. The FBI chose to protect its unholy relationship with democratically aligned press instead. The press had it either because the FBI source had briefed the press on it or the FBI had itself leaked it directly to the press. Either way, the FBI was aware of how the press came into possession of the dossier or its contents because they had fired their source for talking to the press months before the January 6, 2017 meeting. I welcome scrutiny. I plan to fully cooperate with the department to help them figure out what happened, because I believe what happened was lawful, at least based on every piece of information that I have. In the congressional testimony Baker gave in October of 2018, the former FBI General Counsel revealed that he had been receiving information from Michael Sisman, who was a lawyer for Perkins Coie, the law firm that retained Fusion GPS, and former British spy Christopher Steele on behalf of Clinton campaign and the DNC. Multiple sources disclosed that Baker had met with Sussman to discuss details of Trump-Russia collusion allegation in advance of the FBI's October 21, 2016 application for FISA warrant on Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Even after Comey was fired by President Trump, following a scathing letter from acting Attorney General Rod Rosenstein excoriating Comey, Baker's kept his relationship with Sussman hidden. As the FBI's lead legal counsel, Baker knew exactly what he was involved in and made no attempt to stop it. To the contrary, by meeting with Sussman, who he knew to be acting as a political operative for both the DNC and the Hillary campaign, Baker chose to facilitate the conspiracy. Then there's the fact that during a then there's the fact that during the congressional interview, Baker's attorney Daniel Levin told lawmakers, "You may or may not, Baker's has been the subject of a leak investigation, a criminal leak investigation that's still active at the Justice Department." There's no wonder that Attorney General Barr, after listening to the conspirators give different self serving accounts, could only tell us, "I have more questions today than I did when I first started." Join us at Spreely if you want to try social media without the leftist censorship. God bless.